Hey there, it's Dr. B. Thanks for reaching out to me for a private reading. I apologize that it didn't get to you on time. I didn't see it in my calendar until you sent it, so sometimes it just doesn't sync up. So I appreciate your patience. Spirit, please use me as a clear channel for communication. May the messages that come through be in the highest good of all those concerned. I draw a sacred circle around this space, leaving my ego to the outside. I call upon my counsel, guides, ancestors, higher wisdom to be with me and guide this space. So it is. So to get started, let's just look at what's going on. So what is the ego block? What is Amy's current ego block? Magician, the Lovers, and the Two of Candles. So what I'm getting right off the jump is that she literally is hurry. So when I say the ego, I mean like the personality, the things that we tell ourselves about who we are, right? It's not necessarily who we, like the truth of who we are. It's the persona that we've built up. So what's going on with her right now is that she's in this space of, like, she doesn't believe in magic. She doesn't believe in the beauty of life. It's like maybe she's been hurt in the past. Maybe she's had some things that have happened that have caused her to have, you know, what we'd call trust issues. But whatever it is that she doesn't really truly believe that it's possible, that magic is really available. She also doesn't believe in the manifestation of the ability to manifest her dreams. It's almost like she has this belief of like, it's too good to be true. This connection, this love, the beautiful energy that you've offered to her, it's like she's looking at it and thinking, it's too good to be true. There's no way that this is really real. There's no way that he can actually be as awesome as I think he is. So her ego is blocking her from coming into this. This is a card of like being in lockstep. This is a card of being on the same page, collaborating, working together, feeling positivity, feeling like you're headed in the same direction, walking and working together. Her ego won't let her believe that. She feels like it's just too good to be true. That's really what it's coming through, is that her ego is like, he's too good to be true. Maybe she even feels unworthy. She may even feel like she doesn't deserve to have this kind of love and this kind of connection, and so it pushed her away. She may not believe that she's worthy of love and of this kind of what you're wanting to offer her. So very interesting that she's in that space. It feels like she, also one thing to note is that two of these cards are major arcana, and so she's definitely got some big energies. These are not insignificant energies that she's coming with. They're big. The Magician is about you really being able to alchemize and to transition situations to work in our favor. The Lovers is about community. It's about love. It's about making choices. And I feel like she almost chooses against her own self-interest. Like she'll choose a partner who's not suitable, someone who's negative, someone who may not even be able to meet her needs. And she does it because she feels like she has some deep-seated wounds around worthiness. So the other ego block is the web weaver. Synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect. She doesn't believe in it. It's like she doesn't believe that there is synchronicity, okay? That's what I keep getting. It's just like this lack of faith, this lack of belief. If only she would have the faith to believe in the beauty of this connection, then she'd be able to move toward it, but she doesn't have that. She doesn't have the ability to do that. So we have, for the next question is about what's blocking her physically. So we have the Ace of Candles in reverse, Ace of Candles, the Explorer of Vials in reverse, and the Three of Swords. So physically what's blocking her is that she doesn't have the passion that she needs. It's all buried underneath pain. So she has some kind of story in her life, some kind of pain story. That's coming through really clearly. This is a card about somebody who feels like their emotions are raging out of control. This is somebody who's been hurt and has been really hurt in the past. Okay. This is the Knight of Cups in reverse. This is someone who will decline offers of love, who will not take an offer of love from somebody because they feel, just for some reason, unworthy of it. They feel like it's not something that they're clear about. This is a card of passion, desire. This is a card of not being passionate or not having clarity on desires. This is a card of somebody who often gets burned. So I feel like part of her energy, part of the issue that she experiences is that she's been burned in the past because she doesn't have good boundaries. Maybe she has some codependent tendencies. Maybe she has people in her life who take advantage of her. Maybe her parents didn't, don't have good, she doesn't have a good relationship with her parents perhaps, and they may use money or love as tools of manipulation instead of tools of, the way that they're supposed to be, which is like with generosity and freedom. And so she kind of doesn't know how to handle emotions properly and have healthy boundaries and how to create relationships that are serving her. So then we have this Three of Bells. This is heartbreak. Heartbreak, betrayal, devastation. This is, in the traditional tarot, 3 swords piercing a heart. And so she definitely has been hurt in the past, and it has caused her to respond by going into these self-protective energies, which is what is blocking the connection. It's like she has not even tapped into her passion for quite some time with this Ace of Candles, because it's like, what's the point, right? It's like, it's almost like she's in this space of like, what's the point of trying to do it? It's just gonna end up being hurt anyway. I'll just end up having my heart broken. It's gonna just end up devastation anyway, so why even try? It's the Eyes of Beauty. In her physical space, like what she is that she doesn't have positive expectations. Part of what's blocking it is that she doesn't have the clarity. She lacks the clarity and to see things through a positive lens. She may be somebody who literally believes like that, like the worst is going to happen. She may be somebody who expects the worst, who expects things, expects this pain, expects to be heartbroken, expects to be left behind, expects to end up hurt. And so she creates that in her own reality. It's like she has you who loves her and wants to be with her, and so she runs because she doesn't believe that it's really possible. That's really what's coming through. So what is a spiritual block? That makes total sense. The Diviner in reverse, the 10 of Candles in reverse. Wow. And the 5 of Vials in reverse. So these are two pretty heavy cards. The Diviner in reverse is about not trusting your intuition. It's about not being able to see things from a spiritual perspective, through a spiritual lens, only seeing things from a limited human perspective, seeing things from not seeing the obvious answers that are right in front of you. This is like being spiritually disconnected, being confused. It's literally having a psychic block. It's literally like her crown chakra and third eye chakra are just completely blocked, and she can't see spirituality. She can't see the forest for the trees, really is what I'm seeing here. It's like she just can't see the positivity or the possibility of anything magical happening in her life right now. And this 10 of Candles, this is a card of someone who is burdened. If you see that person is like crawling with their, can't even, actually not even crawling, can't even move because the weight is too heavy. So this is about, like, in reverse, it's a little bit more positive than the upright. The reverse is saying that there's a burden that needs to be released, that is starting to be released. So spiritually, she's burdened by something. It could be something like she has this energy from past lives that she's carrying still. It could be like religious baggage, like maybe she grew up in a very religious home with very restrictive religious beliefs, and those beliefs contributed to her being burdened. A lot of times what I see with people that have these really strict and stringent spiritual households is that oftentimes that they will, those beliefs become a burden, in the sense that it's like carrying the shame. So there's like, people talk often about Catholic guilt. So it becomes a burden. You feel guilty about everything. You feel, if you're shamed about being having sexual desires, or if you do this, then you're a sinner, if you do that. So this is like what I'm getting is that spiritually there's some kind of burden that has been cast on her by other people with their beliefs. It's not necessarily her belief system that has caused this, but she's not questioned it yet. She hasn't really sat with herself to say, like, is this a belief system that I want to continue believing in? Or is this something that is not serving me and that I need to release? And that's kind of where she is, at least in her higher self, is working with right now, is releasing that, is letting, wanting to release the burden and let that go. This 5 of Cups and 5 of Vials in reverse, this is about, I'm finally seeing the positivity in a situation. So it's like if she has been hurt in the past, if she's been deeply wounded, then she may be sitting in this space of, I don't ever want to try again. I don't ever want to do this again because it's just too painful. She hasn't seen the gift in what she's been through. So there's something that she's gone through in life that has caused her to feel this way, and she needs to be able to see the gift. Spiritually, she needs to be able to see the positivity that comes with it. Yeah, sometimes we have experiences that suck. They're painful. They're very difficult, and it's not fun. But the reality is that there's always a gift in it. And so once she can start to see that and transmute that from the pain story to the freedom story, it will be better for her. And it feels like she's on the cusp of that right now. So then we have the Spiral Dancer in reverse. This card is about, it says, it seems as if you're getting caught out of breath going in the wrong direction. Sometimes you're so busy dancing to your own tune that you find yourself out of step with everyone else. Perhaps now is the time to regroup, sit down, and rest for a while until the rhythm calls you to the dance again. The Spiral Dancers is a gentle one, so be still and know that you're always loved. If your question is about a relationship, don't be too assertive now. This is the time to be receptive and allow someone else to take the lead and show his or her true nature to you. At the same time, be careful of being manipulated. You will know the truth about your situation clearly if you sit this dance out and observe. So spiritually, I feel like with this card showing up, it's that she is pursuing, why she's blocked is she's pursuing the wrong path. She's pursuing things that she thinks are going to help her, things that she thinks are going to be beneficial, but the reality is that it's just causing her more and more pain. It's just causing more and more limitations. What she's actually standing in her own way, blocking her own progress because of this energy. She's putting her energy into the wrong spaces. I also feel like she has a propensity to be manipulated by others, and so because of that, she doesn't trust her own perception. She's like, that's why she's kind of backed out of this relationship right now, is because she doesn't, a couple of things is that because she doesn't feel worthy and because she doesn't trust her own perception. She's been played in the past, maybe she's been manipulated in the past, and so she definitely feels a sense of like she needs to be really careful. She doesn't trust herself. So what is her mental block? Okay. So we have the 7 of Vials, which is about choices and illusions. This is a card that says someone is in a space of needing to be clear, to get clear on a decision, make a decision, move something forward in a connection, in a relationship. That's a very important energy. It is about seeing through the bullshit, seeing through the illusions. Mentally, she hasn't been there. She sees a lot of fantasy. She makes decisions based off of fantasy instead of what is in front of her. So the situation could be like right in front of her face. It could be like, but she buys into the illusions. That's just what I keep getting. This card is about illusions. This is about someone who will believe the fantasy. So that like a guy could tell her something and she like would believe the fantasy about it, even if the reality isn't showing that to be the truth. I hope that makes sense. She'll make decisions financially based off of what she hopes to have happen instead of what's in front of her. So you know, buying a car with the hope that you're going to get a job instead of buying, or, you know, getting a better job, or that you're going to get a raise. And so you buy a car that's out of your budget, and then you end up financially strapped because you made a decision based off of a fantasy instead of making a decision based off of what was in front of you. So it's like if she would just have, like, going back to that car analogy, if she would just have purchased a car that she knows that she can afford, as opposed to, you know, that's within her budget. So yeah, it might mean that your car payment is $200 a month instead of $300, and you get a little less of a car. You know, you get a Kia instead of a Honda or whatever, but you're within budget, you're not strapped. Now she's making decisions based on illusions, and it gets her in bad situations. And so as part of her mental block is that she needs to get grounded in reality and make decisions based off of what is in front of her. What is in front of you now? What is present to you now? And how can you make those decisions going forward based in reality, okay? So then we have the Hermit in reverse. This is a card of somebody who just goes into isolation mode. The Hermit is a good card to have in terms of self-reflection. It's a card that speaks to spiritual retreat, going within, getting clear about yourself spiritually. It's a card about really spending some time getting conscious, okay? Doing some deep spiritual introspection work. But when in reverse, it's just isolating. So mentally, she goes into a cave. She goes into like this retreat mode in her mental space where she just goes like, you know, like you said, she cut you off after a little dispute regarding our planned trip together, saying she's not ready and doesn't want to hurt me. So I feel like what she's doing is that she makes, like she mentally retreats. She mentally goes within and like locks herself down because love scares her. Being really connected with somebody actually scares her. The other thing that maybe an issue is that there's issues from the past. This could be the return of a past lover. She might have heard from somebody, like a person that she was in a relationship with before. She might have heard from them and it threw her for a loop, and that's partly why she retreated and doesn't want to hurt you, because she feels like, oh, well, you know, maybe so-and-so is back now, and so I want to revisit that. I'm not necessarily saying that's what happened, but it could be a contributing factor. If not that, then there's lingering energies of past connections that's still present in her life. There's lingering memories, there's pain, there's fantasies, unresolved issues, unhealed wounds. We're in right now, this is a Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde is all about being in this space of, I think, old lovers coming back, old relationship issues coming back. It's like you have time to review your past connections. That may be what's going on right now, is that she's looking back at her past mentally, and there's some stuff that needs to be resolved. So we also have the Diamond Dreamer, which is a card about prosperity and abundance. So in reverse, interesting, because we just had a 5 and then we have the 6. That's interesting that happened. The Diamond Dreamer in reverse, which is about, it says, address your perception of the power of materialism. Do you focus on the material world above all else? Have you become hypnotized by the notion that it's only reality? Have you grown attached to stuff? So what I'm getting from this is that she's mentally, she gets into this space of like wanting to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. Like, instead of going toward lovers and partners that would be more suitable for her emotionally, she goes toward people that she may feel like have more, like, are more sparkly. They have like the image. They might have the they drive the kind of car that she wants. She may mentally, literally be caught in this energy of being with people that aren't for her, that aren't good for her, just because they look good on the surface. That might be something that that kind of is a role for her. She could also just be focused on, overly focused on material things. working financial, issues that she's considering, and it's keeping her from wanting to come forward. That could be something that's playing out too. A lot of times people will use like financial struggles as a way to keep them from engaging with intimate relationships. Like I'll partner up when when I feel better financially, but they're not actually doing anything to improve their financial situation, or they keep making bad decisions that contributes to their financial situation being down. And that could be what she's doing as well. So in her emotional space, 5 of Candles, oops, wrong deck, sorry, Strength, and the Explorer of Bells. So she's got this 5 of Candles energy. This is conflict. This is conflict, competition, jealousy. This is the energy of people really, like, for her, it feels like a very, very much an internal conflict. This is like, I have a deck where there's like 5 dragons that are wrestling, like entangled, and that's where she is right now. She's in that space of really feeling like internally conflicted, emotionally. That's like there's so much turmoil that she's dealing with, and it's not literally about you or anything like it. I don't get that it's about you. I get that it's literally about past issues. It's about old people, old connections, things from her past, even past life energy that she brought into this life, but it's causing her a ton of mental conflict. So we have Strength card. Emotionally, she's trying to get her strength. She's trying to be engage in self-mastery and not continue perpetuating these same cycles over and over again. She's trying to get into a space where she feels strong again, where she feels like she can make her own decisions and she feels capable and doesn't want to continue having the same experiences over and over and over again. She really wants to move through that. So she is emotionally trying to gather her strength. Now we have this Explorer of Bells, which is the Knight of Swords in the traditional tarot. This is charging forward. So emotionally, she is like charging forward towards something that she feels might be more beneficial for her. It could be something that she feels like very passionate about emotionally. So this could be like, maybe she's dedicating herself right now to a creative project, writing a book. Maybe she's really involved in politics or really passionate about politics. She may be really like wanting to express herself more. If she has some creative expression, dancing, writing, poetry, speaking, whatever it might be. But she's not sharing that with people. So it's like she is kind of trying to move forward with her passion, with her creativity, and with her desires, but she's not really ready to share that yet. She's not ready to bring that into the world and share that with the world. So emotionally, she is trying to go with the flow. This card, it's the River Queen, is about emotional flow, emotional fluidity. So it's about she really is emotionally trying to just let go, let things happen as they will, instead of trying to always, control everything and be in that space of trying to like mastermind everything that happens in her life. It's like she really needs to surrender to the process, and she knows that she needs to surrender, and so she's really trying to do that right now and really trying to be in a more flow state, really kind of stepping it more into her divine feminine, as opposed to being where she is now, which is kind of feels a lot of like a lot of masculine energy, a lot of not moving, like taking steps and charging forward like this, and going after the wrong things. And so it's like we have this like going forward passionately, but we also have this flow. So it feels like she's really emotionally trying to come into a state of balance. Like it feels like she might vacillate between these two, where she goes charging ahead and then burns herself out, and then now she's trying to learn how to go forward, pursue her dreams, have success without necessarily burning herself completely to the core. So I'm going to move these aside, and I'm going to pull one card from each deck for the questions that you asked. Will there be a happy future between the two of you? So I see the Temperance in reverse, which is, Temperance is a twin flame confirmation card in reverse. It's saying that things continue to be out of balance, and things will continue to be the way that they are right now, at least for a while. And we have the Keeper of the Scales, in reverse, which it says, events are turning your life upside down and you may be crazy and confused. Are you feeling that life is unfair for you right now? Do you believe that others are getting ahead of you? Could your ego be throwing things off? So what I get from this, because this is a card about drama, both of these cards are about being out of balance and being in drama. I feel like when you ask the question, is the future ahead of you, will you come together and be happy? Without doing the healing work, without bringing some balance to yourself and to herself, it will continue to be up and down and drama and in and out and so on and so forth. So my suggestion, or I'm not even going to say suggestion, what I'm getting from this is that you ask the question, is it important to step away and do your own healing? Absolutely. Absolutely. Our relationships with others are a mirror to our relationships with ourselves. So if there's anything that's coming up for you that needs to be healed, or patterns that you're noticing that you don't like, it's an opportunity for you to heal and to transform that. But as things stand right now, if the two of you try to persist in this connection the way it is right this minute, it will not be easy. It'll be full of drama. And so what are the things that you need to do to fulfill the best outcome? Well, you got to get out of your own head. Okay, that's the first thing. This is a card of anxiety. This is about, you have to overcome the anxiety that you're feeling. There's some kind of triggering around anxiousness and like feeling like this huge burden. And this card is saying you have to really work to overcome that. Release that anxiety, release all that mental pain. In the traditional tarot, this is a person that's sitting in bed with their head buried in their hands, like looking devastated. And in the reverse, it's saying it's time to release that and move through. So you have to release the pain, the anxiety, the fears, to be able to create, the ability to heal yourself and move forward. Now the prison wave, it's literally, these two cards are literally like the same thing. This is a prisoner of worry, distrust, cynicism, and fear. It says, do you constantly tell yourself that there's not going to be enough, or do you only see lack and poverty when you look? Perhaps your expectations of negative results and repercussions serve to keep you imprisoned by your own thoughts. Do you feel you're not allowed to have success in life? So basically this says, I'm going to skip ahead. It says, if you aren't happy with your life, change your thoughts. That alone has the power to change your life. Difficulties are learning curves right now. Just remember that this prison won't hold you for long. So how you set yourself free from this, what the best way to go forward is to get out of this mental prison. Figure out what it is that about her or about you that is keeping you stuck and anxious and feeling like, oh, this is feeling like you can't move forward, or feeling like you want to hold on and fight for the relationship. Really sit with that and fight for yourself, fight for your own happiness, the way that you want to fight for this relationship, and let her go, let her do her thing. If it's meant to be, it'll come back to you. So I hope this reading helped. Please let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.